Hello there, ladies and gents. Right, last one for me from this early spot. I've got a couple more that I want to touch on at tea time tonight or early this evening, but the rugby's not far off starting. I'll get this one out quickly. Read something yesterday that I found disturbing. It's going along the lines of, again, it's sexuality, gender and all that. You know how strongly I feel on it all. As I keep saying, I'm not genderist, sexist, anyist whatsoever. I don't mind what anybody is. I just hate it when people cause grief for the sake of causing grief. Read something yesterday, I'll put the bins on. It's a gentleman, a history teacher called Roy Huggins. Roy's a 55-year-old, taught all his life, 32-year career. He said something in a class whilst covering for another teacher a few months ago. I'll tell you in a moment what he said. And he's been referred to the DBS. That's the Disclosure and Barring Service. Now, he had to go in front of a panel. He's worried about it for months until he went in front of that panel, even contemplated suicide. A teacher with no history of any issues whatsoever in a 32-year-old career. But he said a couple of things in the class. Somebody in the class has took offence, although they've not mentioned it to him, they've not discussed it. They've gone to the higher-ups, and then it's gone to this committee. He's come out of the committee exonerated, but it's now on his record. And if he goes for another job anywhere else in Great Britain, he's got to say that he's been in front of the DBS. And basically what he said, without going too far into it, he said something like, girls normally you find are slightly bigger on the hips. That's the way that they're designed, and they're designed that way, or built that way in the main, because they bear children. You find boys are normally wider on the shoulder. That's because normally they carry more muscle, and it enables them to carry more muscle, enables them to get stronger. And there's somebody in the class that's going through gender something or other that's took offence with these comments, and as I say, reported it to wherever, and it's got to this committee. But they said a couple of things in the piece. As I say, he's got off with it, so we'll let it go now. I mean, he's been treated abysmally to what I think he's been treated awfully, and as I say, he's got a mark against his name for something, for man when he's done nothing wrong on. But a couple of observations that were mentioned within the piece, which I just thought was crazy, and it just does show the way we're going. It's just, listen to this. Somebody said, you can't say breastfeeding anymore. You have to say chest feeding. You can't say breastfeeding, you've got to say chest feeding. Boys can apparently chest feed. I don't know what they do it with, but they can chest feed. You can't say vaginal birth anymore. It's a frontal birth. I always thought vaginas were at the front. I didn't think they were at the back. Maybe my biology isn't great. I wasn't good at biology, I must admit. But you can't say vaginal birth, you've got to say frontal birth. It must be for them people that do have vaginas at the back. Maybe some people are back to front. I don't know. And it also mentions there's about 62 or 63 different genders at the moment. Is it any wonder we're struggling and we fall in between different stools? 62 to 63 genders. Who made all these up? Where did they come from? As I say, I grew up, it was boy and girl. What was I? 9, 10, 11, and they were gay people. Bit older, we heard about lesbian people. 17, 18, 19, 20, heard about bisexual people. And that was probably it. Where did we get 62 or 63 from? And another piece here. Since COVID, he was saying, it's become normal to see boys walking around in skirts and tights, dressed as girls. So he's saying, or somebody's saying, you can see boys and they're regular now in skirts and tights. Is it any wonder people are saying the wrong things? Is it any wonder when we're faced with all that I've just read you there? Is this country not going to the dogs? Yeah, we're not allowed to. Well, I say what I want, I don't care. But J.K. Rowling says it, but she gets absolutely battered and pelted. But that's probably because of who she is. Luckily, nobody knows me. But she takes it, I could take it as well. I'm not bothered. As I say, I don't mind what anybody is, but 62 or 63 different genders from a man and a woman. Front birth, back birth, vaginal birth, chest feed, breastfeed. It beggars belief, ladies and gents. It really does. And we're going down a real slippery slope. And it concerns me because I've got kids and I've got grandkids, especially grandkids now, and just concerns me. I don't know how all you feel. I honestly don't know, but I think the whole situation, the whole scenario is something stinks. Something's amiss, really. It is, honestly.